Alright, welcome back everyone. As you guys can see at the bottom right of the stream, there's been a new widget that has been added. So this is my heart rate. Let me go ahead and say that I've been testing out this little device here for about 2 days. And it's hypersensitive, so I just want to go ahead and say a few things here before I start. Hypersensitive in the fact that it updates my heart rate. No, the text box will still be there. In fact, I can go ahead and just move the heart rate if need be. I have 2 heart rate monitors on me right now because this one is very, very hypersensitive to the point where if I move, it'll go ahead and jump my heart rate up to like 100. It updates by the second, so if I so much as move like my right arm, it's gonna go up. The other one that I have on me, the heart rate is basically by every 30 seconds. It should be there. Chat, try it now. I'll go ahead and just shoot it. Let's see if it works. There we go. Okay. So this thing is very hypersensitive. Just like that, I picked up my phone to do a message and it goes up to 95. So this thing is really, really sensitive. So don't expect, like, the numbers are going to be jumping around the numbers are going to be jumping around all the time. So I'm going to try and figure out a way for it to be a lot more accurate because this is so sensitive that, like, even like that, I just simply moved back. And it's reporting that I'm hitting almost 98 on my heart meter, 101 now, and on my left arm it says that my heart rate's at 76. So yeah, it's a little messy, it's a little rough around the edges, and I'm hoping that it can go ahead and I'll be able to balance it out. With that being said, tonight my heart rate's probably going to be a little bit higher than usual for just the sake that I actually, as most of you guys know, most of my friends and stuff like that, you guys know that I actually have been doing some stuff in politics, and tonight I had my first ever debate. So that was interesting. It went really, really well. Thank you guys for support who live in my area that went or watched it on YouTube or whatever and saw us go ahead and speak. But for those of you guys that are giving up on politics and are interested in stuff, just note that there is a politician out there. And I'm not going to go ahead and face dox myself or say my name, but there's a politician out there who just got back from a debate and just decided on playing Muv-Luv. There's a politician out there who has Wojak Talker as his profile picture. So if you guys don't think you can do it, just remember there's someone else in the world who's already done it. With that said, we're going to go ahead and start tonight. Right now, my heart rate is not 112. I can assure you that. That's like me, like, jogging tier. So hopefully it will go ahead and it will stabilize out. But yeah, as kind of said earlier with my old stuff, me running is like a 150, 160. Me jogging is about 120 to 130. So here I actually have a little game that chat recommended that I do. And yeah, that's the other one. I'm calculating my heart rate through the Fitbit. Like right now it says my heart rate's at 85. So hopefully this will stabilize, maybe go down to like high 80s. Because this thing changes way, way too much. So I'm going to go ahead and try and fine tune it. Tonight's just a test run. And it doesn't help that I just got back from a debate literally less than 5 minutes ago. So I'm still might be running on fumes. With that said, I just hope it works out. But if you guys want to go ahead and fill out the Google form, it's kind of a little bit of a joke that somebody came up with. But if you guys want to go ahead and guess what my heart rate will be for the night, there you go. There you have it. Obviously, I need this thing to be more accurate because it's, like I said, This is showing right now at 98. This is showing 20 higher than what my heart rate says on my other arm. My heart rate's at 78 right now on my left arm, and now we're hitting like 100, 102. It's possible that I accidentally just maybe messed up a little bit with how I, you know, maybe it's, I don't know, but obviously there's something a little off with the heart rate monitor. That, I just think it's a little too hypersensitive. But that's enough of that out of the way. Let's go ahead and start. Yeah, I don't know why it's so high. Like I said, it's just kind of weird when my heart rate right now, for example, should be 80, and it's 105. I'm going to go ahead and try and play around with it a little bit, and I'm going to see what the problem is. Like I said, I don't know why this one is so freaking sensitive. So, we'll see what happens. Granted, it's really hot in my house, though. So last night we got deployed for our first mission. And yeah. We're out here, and the Civil War is ongoing. So let's go ahead and begin. 05 Tomase, you're straying too far from the pack. I'm working on it. They've broken through the Imperial forces. Keep your wits about you. The Royal Guard is defending our rear. 00 to all units, stay calm, maintain formation. Dang it. How did they get through all those Imperial units so fast? 06, can you not go any faster? Are you nuts? Her Highness only has a basic safety harness. She can't take G-force like that. No, I'll be fine. Increase your speed. But you've been getting tossed around in the turbulence for like 30 minutes now. Even with medicine, that's insane. Do it. Understood. 06 to all units. We'll take a shortcut. We're going to boost jump over the valley. Multiple enemy crafts sighted at 4 o'clock. They're coming over the ridge. What? Where the hell did they come from? You're all clear to engage. All units return fire at will. Whatever you do, keep 06 alive. Do not engage unless provoked. Chances are they won't risk attacking us directly. Roger. So it's finally happening, huh? Kill or be killed. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it through this. Do your worst. To the commanders of the UN and the Royal Guard units. We mean you no harm. I say again, no harm. It's from the enemy pursuers? It's an open channel. But we do request compliance. Where'd they go? Your actions are a grave violation of Japan's national sovereignty. I can't see them. Where are they? In front of us? How did they get this close? They're opening fire? First contact. Don't lock onto us. Are you trying to get yourselves killed? What's the U.S. Army 66 Tactical Armored Battalion? Oh, American? Don't slow down. Get going already. We'll handle this. We're saved? This is 207 leader. Copy that. The plan hasn't changed. Keep calm and carry on. All units at 207 maintain formation and accelerate to maximum combat speed. Copy. Here they come again. 8 hostiles. They're American. F-15 Strike Eagles. Attention American craft. Seize all operations immediately. I say again, seize all operations immediately.
Attention, unidentified craft.
Wow, it's actually in English.
Translator will follow UN military protocol and transmit in English, the official international language.
You are interfering in Japanese national affairs. Seize all combat operations immediately.
I say again, transmit in English, the international language. We can't understand what you're saying.
We can't understand what you're saying.
米軍機に次ぐ英語などクソくらい繰り返す英語などクソくらい
Oh dang, he's telling
What?
to fork off.
尻尾を巻いて逃げ帰った貴様らが今さら日本に何の用だ
What are you cowards doing in Japan? Did you drop something on your way out of the door? They're opening fire.
ストライクイーグル8手強いぞフォーメーションウィング3で包囲殲滅兵器使用自由
8 Strike Eagles, they're gonna be tough. Surround and destroy them in Wing 3 formation. Weapons free. Clear to engage.
Fucking asshole.
Those things are gonna make short work of our Kakishins in close quarters. Stay in your elements. We're being hit with from 7 o'clock. I see more hostiles.
バカなレーダーに反応は
Impossible, there's nothing on radar. They've got no IFF signal. F-220A Raptors? All units spread out. Get them in a pincer movement. Impossible.
All units, give me a status report.
Spike 2, all green.
Spike 3, no problem.
All right, we have it at 87 according to my my one.
Excellent. The enemy
BPM
forces are
reader.
surrounding our friendlies. We'll flank them and intercept.
Now it's hitting 88. Stuck at 88. So if it's somewhere near that on the stream, I can't tell. Hopefully it's a little bit more accurate now. Hopefully the readings are going to be a little bit better. Excellent. The enemy forces are surrounding our friendlies, so we're going to flank them and intercept them. American Army to the rescue, eh? Oh, that really scared me. I even pulled the auto trigger on sheer reflex. Thank God the IFF's auto safety kept it from falling out. So those were the newest models, huh? Coming right at us, but the radar blips were too small for me to even tell what they were. Thank God they're on our side. We'll probably be safe for now. But that being said, the Rebel forces have the advantage over us in almost every aspect. Their speed is particular and is insane. Considering how quickly they took out those IJ units, their pilots are probably pretty top-notch as well. They probably did a ton of anti-TSF practice in preparation for the coup. This is bad. If E1 is just as fast, they'll almost definitely beat us to the Haikawa Tilbu. What are we supposed to do? Are you alright? You seem faint. Oh, I'm good. I guess I'm letting my anxiety show, but I mean, can you really blame me? Is that so? Well, if you wish to quicken the pace, do not hesitate on my account. If you say so. She must have an iron stomach. She's not even in a fortified suit, and yet the shaking doesn't bother her. The medicine's strong, but it's not that strong. Still can't let the Shogun turn out to be a girl my own age. I supposed to be looking out for her, but she's looking out for me. Sad. You sure you're alright? No sickness? There is no need to be concerned. I have some amount of piloting experiences myself. I am the commander-in-chief, if only in name. Huh? She knows how to pilot? Like TSF piloting? Indeed, only I have 96 hours. 96? That's more than anyone in the squad. In fact, I happen to have a personal TSF of my own. It's not with me for the moment, though. A Shogun, a personal TSF? It's probably a real work of art. Probably decked out in gold, leaf, rare gems. I do have to say, though, your piloting style is quite unusual. I have been in awe for quite some time. She has enough experience to even notice my unique moves. Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks, Shadow. There's a lot of callbacks to Extra that I'm really enjoying. Whether you have Ayamine's tie-ins to Sagiri, a few other things too, and this is our first real deployment, and it's kind of work on the front line, so I'm enjoying the arc so far for sure. You seem quite perplexed. Is it strange to imagine a Shogun piloting a TSF? I was just a little surprised. Historically, those born to the House of the Shogun were duty-bound to stand at the front of every battle. What? The Shogun used to lead the charge? Why would they ever put themselves in so much danger? In modern times, the shogun no longer participates in warfare. However, there are more of a few of my immediate relatives that do. Yeah, like Maya. And as it happens, the Royal Guard was created specifically to serve and protect such relatives. I see. I forgot to mention, the commander of this Royal Guard unit accompanying squadron wouldn't happen to be Tsukiyomi Mana, would it? Huh? Yeah, how'd you know that? I heard them mention the 19th independent flight by name during the transmission earlier. Okay, fair enough, but I was asking why you knew Tsukiyomi particularly. Wait, does that mean... Alright, my arm's reading 74. Hopefully the stream's reading somewhere close. If not, I'm going to go ahead and just contact customer support and see, like, why is there such a big difference, provided that the difference is still there. That is quite a strange coincidence. What is... There's something I want to ask. Attention 207, Tactical Armored Flight. I am Major Walken, Commander of the U.S. Army 66. Sorry, hold that. For now, Alpha Squadron's buying us some time, but the enemy is strong and numerous. We cannot afford to rest on laurels. He's right. So it's like legit 10 to 20 higher? Yeah, I'll have to go ahead and contact them. That's really kind of weird. Right now I'm at 70 exactly. So hopefully it's somewhere in the 70s. It's never good when two heart readers are reading like very different numbers. Something's obviously wrong. We will await your arrival at Kamiishi Pass. You will be resupplied once you arrive. Supplies would be nice, but do we really have that kind of time? I guess he's confident they can keep rebel forces at bay that long. Rendezvous with us as quick as possible, walking out. Come on, dude. You don't think we're not going as fast as possible? I know those guys back there are risking their lives for us, but I can't really afford to pick up the pace. Do you guys just not even care about the Shogun at all? Sorry about that. The commander of the American unit was giving us a rendezvous point, so what were you saying? Oh no. It could wait. The lives of American service pilots are at stake. Hurry on. Okay then. Now that I know you're an experienced pilot, I'll try to pick up the pace a little bit. I trust your discretion. 06 to all units in 207. We're going to be doing consecutive boost jumps all the way to Kamiishi Pass. 500-second intervals. 00 copy. All units synchronize your timers with 06. Okay, buckle up. Alright, 73 is my heart rate now. Hopefully it's the same on the thing. Sorry about that. I was hoping you could at least get out and stretch your legs while we resupplied. I appreciate your consideration, but I'll be fine, thank you. Well, okay. I wish I could believe her, but she really doesn't look so good. It doesn't matter how much experience she might have. With a fortified suit, the human body isn't designed to absorb the shock of that many boost jumps. She's already taken 3 tablets, which is the maximum daily dose. There's no way I can give her any more. Now that I think about it, this is pretty similar to what happened with Maya in the last timeline. Speaking of, her and the Shogun look way too much alike. This is definitely not a coincidence. Is something up? Oh, no, everything's good. And considering she mentioned Tsukiyomi by name, I can't just imagine that these people are distant relatives. Shirogane? That's nothing, honestly. Have your legs fallen asleep, perhaps? I've been sitting on them for some time. Oh, no, I'm good. The harness belts take care most of the weight. Don't even worry about it. Are you certain? If it begins to hurt, do not hesitate to let me know. I won't. She's putting her own discomfort aside and trying to be considerate of me. That's exactly the sort of thing Maya would do as well. She may not have the heart of a warrior like Maya does, but she's dignified, and she has some sort of air of unwavering solidity. You could tell that comes from a deep-seated sense of purpose. In that regard, they couldn't be more alike. Am I onto something? Well, no harm in asking. I mean, plus might take her mind off the nausea. Your Highness, about what you said earlier.
先ほどの話そうであった。そなたに尋ねたいことがあったのです。
Oh yes, I wanted to ask you about that. Oh, okay. I was already gonna ask you about something, man. She's even got the Meia's tendency to dominate the
つくよに
conversation.
注意が随伴しているということは、そなたの部隊にも竹見和地が配備されているはずなのですが。
Given that first Lieutenant Tsukiyomi is accompanying you, then might be mistaken, but there should have been a Takumi Kazuchi.
それよりも名
Oh yeah, the one that she gave to Meiya.
くどい。
But she didn't think that she was, honorable enough as just a pilot.
どなた様のお心遣いかは。
恐れながら名誉様、つくよみ様とて天下を案ずる。
控えろ、ともえ。
さようでございます。私どもとて身を引き裂かれる思いでございます。名誉様。
Hopefully it's stabilized now. My heart rate should be 82 and stable. I'm kind of sad now. I thought that it would be a little bit more accurate of a reading. I'm glad it looks cool. I just wish that it synced up to my other one as well. When you have differences of like 20 to 30 beats per minute, that's never a good sign. Because it means one of the technologies is faulty. So I was right then. It all makes sense now. She's the one who sent it. So that time when Meiya stopped me and asked if I recognized her, that must have been what she was talking about. Shirogane? Oh, yeah, we get it. The purple one, you mean?
はい。先ほど話した私の専用機です。見当たらないようですが、何故でしょうか?
Yeah, that's the personal TSF I mentioned earlier. Is there a reason I do not see it here? That was the Shogun's personal one? The Mei is more than just a distant relative. This is like immediate family. If she's the Shogun's sister, that would definitely explain why she's so bashful, me treating her like an old person.
白金
Yes?
そなたは初めて会った時、私をメイヤと呼びましたね。
When we first met, you addressed me as Meiya, did you not? Yeah.
メイヤが、三剣メイヤがこの部隊にいるのでしょう。
Then I take it that Meiya is a member of the squad then, yes? That's correct.
ではなぜ竹見和地が見当たらないのですか?
Then why do I not see her Takumi Kazuchi? That's a tough question. Well, when I saw Meiya, I mean, Cadet Mitsurugi, she said she didn't want to use any special treatment.
そうですか。
Is that so? Well, I mean...
あの者らしい。
That sounds like her. She's smiling, but it's not enough to hide the loneliness in her eyes. She may come out and say it, but Tsukiyomi did, and I'm sure she interprets Meiya's refusal to pilot as such a rejection of her goodwill.
あの者は今まで一度たりと私の贈り物を素直に受けてくれたことがありません。
As far as I'm concerned, she's never actually... So my heart rate right now is 73. Once again, hopefully it's accurate. As far as I know, she has never once accepted a token of consideration. You don't say. As far as she knows, what does that mean?
時に白金。あの者は日頃どうなのですか?
If I might ask, Shirogane, what sort of person is she in her day-to-day life? You want to know what she's usually like? Wait, what? It's pretty obvious they're not in direct contact with one another, but doesn't Tsukiyomi report anything to her? Well, Cadet Mitsurugi can seem pretty in her ways, I guess, but only because she has super strong principles.
よい、かしこまるでない。
There's no need to choose your words so carefully. Speak in whatever way feels the most natural. Okay, she can be pretty stubborn and old-fashioned at times, but underneath that tough exterior, she really does have good intentions, and everyone in the squad respects her for it, so... She's as strong as a sense of duty, but she's always thinking about the squad as a whole, but sometimes I worry she bottles things up a little too much and doesn't let anyone else in. She never lets it show when she's in pain, though, and I really admire her for having that much self-discipline. She's about as noble as they come, but yet... I do think she could stand to do a little easier on herself.
そうですか。
I see, yeah. Should I have sugarcoated that a little bit?
白金はそう感じるのであれば、あの者は相当そなたに甘えていますね。
If that's the impression you get from her, she must depend on you a great deal. Huh? I'm not sure I
私
follow.
が聞き知る限り、あの者はそのような弱さを人に気取られることすら。
From what I showed, she does not seem to let such weaknesses show. From what you've heard.
されど、そなたとこうして話をしていると、 それも理解できるような気がします。
However, the more I talk with you, the more I can understand why she might have made an exception. What do you mean, an exception?
鎧が言ったようにそなたが変わり者だからなのでしょう。
To borrow your ways words, perhaps it is your eccentric nature that won her over. Eccentric? Me? I don't know about that. And he's the last person who should be calling me
本
eccentric.
当に不思議な男ですね。
You truly are a man of mystery, aren't you? I don't know about that much. I'm not sure why, but I get the sense that there's a lot more of a rift between Maya and her immediate family than you would expect. Certainly what you would expect from a shogun, at least. Your Highness,
何か
I haven't been living here for very long, so this might be a stupid question. I guess I'm not lying. Is May your sister? Sorry, was it rude to ask?
そなたは国連の英士。知らなくても無理はありません。
It's fine, you're a UN surface pilot. You can't be expected to know this. Hopefully she's just assuming I grew up overseas or
あの
something.
者は小野が身の上をそなたになんと。
What has she told you in regards to her background? All that she says she's a distant relative of the Shogun, but from what your Highness said earlier, I have to assume she's closer than that. Not to
それ
mention,
になんでしょう。
what else? You're kind of just like her.
そっくり。
Just like her. You look almost identical and you've got similar personalities and everything. Did I say something wrong?
それはそうでしょう。私
Yeah,
とあの者は
I
血
called
を
that
分け
one
た
out a
双子
little
なのですから
earlier. Well, that would make sense considering that she and I are twins. Huh? Twins? I mean, the thought did cross my mind, but...
メイヤにはね、双子のお姉さんがいたんだって。
See, Sumika, immediate heart rate increase. See, Maya actually said she's the younger of two twin sisters. Wait, did... I already know about this?
古より公務員家には双子は世を分ける意味子だとするしきたりがあるのです。
For centuries, House Kobin had believed the twins are cursed children.
三剣家では
More extra
双子は家を
flashback.
分けるから縁起が悪いって言い伝えがあって、メイヤは養女に出されたんだって。
In the Mitsurugi family, twins were always seen as a bad omen that would mean the family would be torn apart, so Maya was sent away to live with some distant relatives. That's right. Sumika told me about this back in my world, but why would she know that? Why can't I piece together my memories? Did I not know about it until after Sumika told me?
でもある時、事故でご両親とお姉さんは亡くなって、
But
跡取りはメイヤだけになって。
one day her parents and sister died in an accident, and Maya became the only successor.
そのしきたりによってあの者は生まれてすぐに東園の三剣家に養子に出されたのです。
So as is customary, she was adopted by my distant relatives in the house Mitsurugi shortly before after being born. I see. So this is Maya's twin sister who would die in my world. If she had survived the heir of the Mitsurugi financial
です
group.
からあの者と私は幼少の頃より直接話をしたことも一緒に遊んだこともありません。
As such, since the days of our infancy, she and I have never spoken or played with each other. I knew it. This would explain the emotional distance I was feeling
小
earlier.
野が素性と関わりなく生きてゆけたならばそれなりに平穏な暮らしを営むこともできたでしょう。
If she had been allowed to live beyond the confines of her lineage, she could have surely found a far more peaceful path. That's for
され
sure.
どあの者は幼少よりことあらば私の身代わりになるよう教育され常に周囲からそう扱われてきたの
But
です。
instead, she was trained from infancy to serve as my body double and has been treated as such forever. Your body
メイヤとい
double?
う名はあの者に刻まれた意味語であるという
The name Maya is a mark of her status as a cursed child.
メイという字は
Maya and the
闇を意
cursed
味しま
child.
す。
May means darkness, and Ya means night.
私の名にある日は日の光を意味しています。
He in my name means day. Light of day, dark of
そ
night,
の生まれ
fitting.
ゆえ意味語として家を追われ身の上を語ることを禁じられなが
Because she was born a twin, she has been cast off from her family, forbidden to even speak of her
ら
true
その生
origin.
まれ私の姉妹であるがゆえに祭りごとの道具として扱われてきたのです。
And because she's my sister, she's been a tool of the government her entire life. A tool?
今そなたの舞台に席を置い
That's
ている
why
こと
she was
に
assigned to your squad. You mean it's not just because of her obligation as a member of the
高
Shogun's
貴なる
family?
者常に民の反たるべしという将軍家の責務を報じているのは事実ですが
To be fair, I mean, we
こ
have
の者は別の良しを持ってここ
long
にい
adhered
る
to
の
the
です。
principle that nobility should serve as models to their citizens, but that's not the only duty she's here to fulfill. There's another reason, right? Could it be what Yoroi said about yesterday?
君はこれだけの豪華メンバーが偶然に集まったとでも思っているのかい
Yeah, do you think such a group could be brought together by just mere coincidence? So maybe she knew about that. Maybe not everything, but definitely a good chunk of it.
あの者は国連に対する日本の真偽の証として
She was sent to Yokohama
横浜基地にいるの
base
です
to serve as proof of Japan's loyalty to the UN. She's a political
あ
hostage
りてい
then.
に言えばそのようになりましょう
That's the case. So it was a backroom deal between the UN and the Japanese government. Even if they are meant to protect the shogun's relatives, this is definitely the kind of deal it would take for the shogunate's royal guard to be stationed here at the UN
情
space.
けないことですが私がそれをあの者に強いてしまっているのです
And I'm ashamed that I have forced you to endure such a thing. Okay, really, it's not your fault though. You're not making the decisions, and everyone knows that this whole reason this whole coup started, the government's been treating both of you guys as tools.
あの者を失望させたのかもしれません
I wouldn't be surprised if she lost all faith in me. What are you on? Are you really honestly
So
worried about that? I am. Well, for what it takes, I'm pretty sure she
そ
hasn't.
うであればよいのですが
I hope that you were right. I'm sure she understands your highness's pain better than anyone. She was furious when she saw the news about Mountain evacuation. Wouldn't stop talking about it, how they disregarded the will of the people. The way she felt back then can't be too different from what you feel now. You were so concerned about the people in the capital that you came out here to put your life on the line, right? She can relate to the rebel cause, but she's also enlisted in the UN military, which is tasked with suppressing the coup. She's feeling pretty conflicted about where her allegiance lies right now. But I think the hardest thing for her is knowing that your highness is in an equally painful position.
それは私ではない
It's not a matter of how I feel,
この苦しみを一人抱えていることを思うと
but you see, when I think of all the pain she is forced to bear alone, I know who she is. I mean, you could also understand both the rebel perspective and the government side of things, can't you? You know what Maya told me? She said you couldn't stand for the idea of being forced to bear pain alone. She said that at the very least she'd like to stand in solidarity with you. At the time I had no idea what she was talking about, but now I do. She's always kept you in her thoughts, your highness. In fact, when she found out that the Imperial Palace was being surrounded, she screamed at Lieutenant Tsukiyomi to go protect you. I've never seen Maya go off like that before.
でしたか
I see. Her bond with her sister is what gives her the strength to endure her own hardships. Her bond with the twin sister she's never seen nor spoken to. She never mentions it and you never know just from looking at her, but it seems like she's overcome a lot of adversity thanks to that support. It's not because she was taught to play the role. It's not because she was ordered to. It's because she takes genuine pride in being a body double. That's why she can make through whatever life throws.
白金
Shirogane, yes?
そなたに頼み事があり
I
ま
have
す
a favor to ask you. What is it?
これをあの者に渡してください
Give this to her. What? It's like a doll? Handmade? Not too... it's also very old.
あの者と私が共に過ごした証なのですたとえほんの数日でも
This is proof of the time we spent together, even if it was just a few short days.
身の回りの品で持ち出せた唯一のものです
It's the only thing I brought along in my escape. Then it must be something she always carries with her on person, or at least somewhere within arm's reach in case of emergency. Pretty dang important to her, I bet. You sure you want me to give it to her?
あの者が心を許すそなたから渡してほしいのです
I want her to receive it from the one who she opened her heart to.
そなたからであればきっとあの者も心よく受け取ってくれるで
If
しょ
you're
う
the one to deliver it, I'm sure she'll accept it with open arms. Well, let's not compare it to the Takami Kazuchi or anything. She refuses gifts out of
分かってい
consideration.
ますそなたの話を聞いてあの者の思いはよくわかりました
I'm aware. From what you told me, I can clearly understand how she must feel. So then, why can't you give it to her in person once this is
あの
over?
者に双子の姉などおりませ
She
ん
has no twin sister,
そして将軍にも双子の妹などおりません
and the Shogun has no twin either. She understands exactly how Maya feels. That's why she can't give it to her in person. No matter what either of them want, they can't meet each other in public. The nature of their birth destined them to live their entire lives apart, and they just came to terms with that a long time ago. I'll make Maya get this.
お願いします
207戦術機構小隊各機に次ぐ
Attention, all units in 207. Oh, hang on.
よい
現在敵部隊は山伏峠に到達友軍部隊は交代を開始した
Enemy forces have reached Yamabushi Pass. Our friendlies have fallen
し
back.
かしながらこの交代は包囲殲滅を回避するための戦術的なものだ敵の圧力は侮れないものがあるが飢餓の撃墜比は依然7対1の優勢を維持している
It's a tactical retreat to keep them from being surrounded. These enemies are not to be taken lightly, but we have been able to maintain a kill ratio of 7 to 1. 7 to 1? I thought the American Imperial surface bots had that much of a difference in skill. I guess those F-22A Raptors are
目
insane.
下のところ事態の推移は予想の範囲内であり作戦及びルートに変更はない
At present, the situation is developing roughly as expected, so there will be no changes to the plan or escape route.
207戦術機構小隊は補給完了次第現体系を維持し先発両翼と最後部は我々が固める
The 207th Tactical Armored Flight will move out in the same formation as before once it has finished resupplying. We will reinforce your flanks
な
and
おこ
rear.
れ以降207戦術機構小隊は我が第66戦術機構大隊の指揮下に入るものとする以上だ
In addition, from this point, the 207th Tactical Armored Flight will be operating under the command of my 66th Tactical Armored Battalion, walking out. Our highest ranking officer is Marimo, and she's just a sergeant. They've got a major, but it just gets me mad. I will admit that I feel a lot safer with super strong TSFs around us, though. So the rebels already reached Kamishi Pass, huh? From here on out, the Americans are going to have to hold their own against the will of rebels with no fresh supplies. Got a good lead on the rebels at the moment, but it's just not enough to guarantee safety. Sure, even if they did break through the Americans to chase after us at full speed, we'd probably be into the choke point. Oh, sorry. But we thought, the thought of them breaking through them isn't exactly enticing. Even with those F-22A and their 7-to-8 ratio, the Americans can only last so long without supplies. But we can't move any faster than this. She's been looking worse and worse, and she hasn't said a word in a while. This is after those motion sickness pills. There's no way she can handle going any faster than this. This might actually already be too much for her. Your Highness, you alright? I'm fine. Focus on your mission. That was a stupid question. Anyone with eyes can tell she's not okay, and there's no way I'm going to admit it. Well, we've got a good head on, thanks to the Americans, and we're going to slow down a little. Shirogane, did you not hear what I said? Sorry, but you're clearly not okay. We're pushing our luck here. In what sense are we pushing our luck? Please, Your Highness, it's obvious your body can't take much more of this. If that is all, then worry not. No matter how severe the turbulence may be, I will not be felled by mere motion sickness, but... But you reducing your speed could cost soldiers their lives. We can't afford to lose anymore. She gotta know better to say motion sickness won't kill her. Every service pilot knows that it's absolutely possible to die of dehydration due to nausea-induced vomiting. This is bad news. She might be putting on a tough face, but her condition's getting much worse. Your Highness, you cannot... Do not worry about me. She's breaking out in a cold sweat. The Shogun's every bit as stubborn as Maya is. I mean, if she could actually put up with us somehow, then yeah, there's nothing to worry about. But if there were something to happen, we would seriously be in trouble. Even assuming that she makes it out of this place, what if the word gets out that we manhandled the Shogun? That's not going to do wonders for the public's opinion of America and the UN. Might would call more civil unrest. There's no other choice. I can't keep doing this to her. I'll slow down gradually enough. I doubt she'll even notice. To make things a little better, though, I doubt it'll be enough to improve her condition. If I slow down anymore, I'll be breaking formation. If I could somehow make the jump boost. Hunter 1 to all units. A group of enemies seen advancing through the Mishima area along Highway 136 are now reaching the toll booth ruins. Aikawa? Wasn't that the choke point we had to break through? The 174th Tactical Battalion is currently engaging them. No way. Even accounting for the time we lost supplying, these rebels are gaining on us way too fast. It's almost like they made a beeline straight forward without even considering that we might change course. How is this possible?
Japanese Type 94s. There's so many of them. Suppressing fire. Keep their heads down. Stupid fuckers.
36 strike eagles, that's way more than expected. Follow me, everyone.
All units, listen up. Pull back into the mountains and form a defensive line. They're pushing up too fast. Don't let them get through.
Oh.
What the hell? There's more of them at 2 o'clock. Fall back to the mountains. Stay in your element. There's 12 of them. And more incoming. Move it. They're surrounding us. Damn it. It's a whole squadron of 94s. You can draw them into a dogfight. Even 94s aren't.
They're so fast. Are those really 94s?
Heat 9, 11, fall back. Maintain formation.
I like that guy's voice.
Watch out for the ones in Russian camo. They're quicker than the others. Russian camo? Then they're aces from the Fuji Training Corps. Watch your ass. All platoons, fall back in time in one formation. Form up the defensive line, ASAP.
No! Something's not right. Uh-oh. The rebel force shouldn't be moving that fast. It doesn't make sense. Especially considering that we just as easily change our escape route at any moment. And yet, E1 still headed straight for the toll booth at full speed. They didn't even consider the possibility that we outsmarted them and were planning to change course and head to Old Mishima City. It makes no sense. This is way too reckless. There's some scheming going on. Maybe they were getting desperate, wanting to prevent the worst case scenario? This option is not only necessitates the extension of their supply lines, it also puts them in a real blind whenever we make it out to the ocean with no pass whatsoever. But if they can go ahead and block us over at Haikawa and force us inland, then they'll still have a chance. That seems too pensive, though. You don't take risks like that when failure means you'll be executed as enemies of the state. What the hell is going on here? That's another thing. What makes them so confident that that our unit has a Shogun to begin with? They're moving at a breakneck pace, and it seems like we've been their target from the start. I hate to consider this. Have our plans leaked? Oh, no. What am I thinking? That possibly couldn't have happened. And that's the situation. All units maintain current formations. We'll proceed at maximum combat speed to beat them to Haikawa. Maximum combat speed? We don't want them to let us cut us off, but we can't afford to move any faster. If 174th Battalion opponents are most likely a unit from the Fuji garrison. You think that the Fuji Training Corps is torn up with the rebels? Training Corps? People who train other surface pilots then? It's the most elite test pilot unit among the Imperial forces. We can't guarantee the 174th Battalion will be able to hold on to them for long. So that's what happened. The Fuji went on ahead and E1 followed behind us to keep us from changing course. Given the circumstances, they must have been holding that exact unit in reserve for this exact type of situation. So that's it. These guys pursuing us were a distraction. They were planning on using the Fuji unit. Of course, we just assumed they were E1, so no wonder they were moving so fast. However, this also means that if we beat them to Haikawa, they'll have no further recourse. He's right. There aren't any old Imperial bases this way, and the old Shimoda city is apparently being held down by American troops. Like the Major said, if we can't make it through Haikawa, they won't even be able to catch us up to us, so we might slow down a little. What am I hesitating for? Keeping Her Highness out of rebel hands is top priority. I have to do what we can to save humanity and not waste time fighting other people. 00 to all units at 207, you heard the man, it's a race against the clock. Maintain course, max speed. 06 copy. Sure, Gane, you mustn't concern yourself on my behalf. Okay, if you're sure. Hunter 1 to Heat Leader, proceeding as planned. Proceeding as planned. That's the call for the 174th Battalion talking to the CO.
Roger that. Make it quick.
Hunter 1, 了解.
Hunter 1, may God be with you. Please, you just gotta keep the enemy at bay. If we can make it through Haikawa, the rebels should receive orders to retreat, and this battle will be done. Hold them off just a little longer. 00 to all units at 207. Synchronize your boost jumps with timing with 06. Copy. The American army is getting rolled. Please, just give us a little more time. Hunter 1 to all field commanders.
最低を20706を中心にトレイル1。第207小隊は左側面。第19小隊は右側面で敵の突出に備えろ。
Assume Trail 1 formation with 20706 in the middle, 207th on the left, 19th on the right. Prepare for enemies.
了解。
なお、207各機はやむを得ない場合のみ応戦せよ。貴様らは脱出が最優先任務だ。
Also, all units in 207 are not to return fire unless absolute necessity. Your top priority is to escape.
20700了解。
20700 copied. About 1.5 clicks to Aikawa. Shouldn't take more than 20 or 30 seconds. But if we make it more time, wait, what? The rebel forces made to the toll booth, but they're supposed to be...
1より各リーダー。
Hunter 1 to all field commanders!
敵が料金所跡に達した。
The enemy has reached the toll booth. Let's go. How can you be so calm? We're screwed.
将軍がこちらにある限り、敵は迂闊に手出しはできない。現体系を維持し、全速前進。
But as long as we have the Shogun, they won't attack us. Maintain formation.
了解。
I guess he's right. It's easy to guess which TSF the Shogun is basing our formation, but there's no way to be for sure. And even if they could be sure, there's still a danger of hitting the TSF by accident. If that happened, they wouldn't be able to call themselves patriots anymore. The best way to take custody of Her Highness while still ensuring safety is to surround us and drop our weapons. If that's their plan, we have a chance. But what if the rebels want to give up on giving the Shogun back? They want to capture the Shogun and have her sanction their rebellion, but they can't do either of those things, those being an obstacle. And if something would happen to her, who's going to put the blame on the UN and the US? Given how chaotic things are right now, it would be impossible to prove either way, and considering that the Japanese people feel about foreign militaries, what are they really going to believe? If the media says that the Shogun died of US Army negligence or was killed on purpose, that would just provoke the IJF to rebel. And what if that, all along, was Sagary's true objective? If so, then he doesn't really care if the Shogun lives or dies. He wins either way. Why am I wasting my time thinking about this right now?
9およびハンター13。諸君の中隊は先行し、敵包囲網の完成を阻止せよ。
Hunters 913, take your squadrons on ahead. Make sure the enemy's not surrounding us.
Hunter 9, roger that.
Hunter 13, roger that.
How are they going to do that at cruising speed? They don't even have enough fuel. What the? Enemies at 5. The 174th Battalion is too beaten up to maintain solid defense. What can we do? They're going to surround us.
ハンター1よりハンター5。君は2小隊を率いてここに留まり、追尾してくる敵部隊を叩け。
Hunter 1 to Hunter 5, you'll stay here with 2 flights and hold off our pursuers.
Hunter 5, roger that.
He's trying to rebuild the defensive line with 3 flights of F-22s? That's a solid plan. That leaves only 1 flight of Americans to defend us, but since breaking through is our top priority, it's the best option.
ハンター1より各リーダー。このままのコースを維持し、中央を突破する。
Hunter 1 to all field commanders, continue main course. We'll break through the center.
了解。
Copy. I've never felt so on edge. Look at those red dots. Are we really going to break through it? Or if we can't just get past this, we'll be going. We're going to have to go through it no matter what. We've got to make it through somehow. The music drop.
前期フォーメーション維持のまま最大戦速。このまま追跡部隊を引き離す。
All units maintain formation at maximum combat speed. We need to shake off our pursuers. We did it. We broke through. We made it. Now it'll be impossible for the rebels to stop us.
富士見台跡を通過後、北福飛行に行こう。谷川に。
After we pass the Fujimudu Budai to NOE, that'll use the valleys. Yep, stealthy low altitude. This will make it easier on her. Hey, we're almost... Huh? Hello? Your Highness. Uh-oh. 0600, requesting top priority connection.
〇〇より〇6、既得回線の使用を許可。
Permission to use encrypted channel grant. Her Highness, she stopped, requesting to stop.
白金、殿下がどうされたのだ。
What's happened to Her Highness? Her Highness has fainted. She's got acute motion sickness. Again, we're requesting to stop.
症状は
What are her symptoms? She's not fully conscious. Her breathing is a little irregular and she's got a high pulse rate.
嘔吐は
Any vomiting? Not yet, but I'm afraid once she starts, she won't be able to stop.
そのまま待て。
Wait, we don't have time for permission. Your Highness! I knew this was the only way, but god dang it.
ハンター1より部隊各機。
Hunter 1 to all units.
約2マイル先の谷まで北福飛行で移動。高度制限は100フィートとする。
We'll fly to, we'll fly NOE to a valley about 2 miles ahead. Keep your altitude above 100 feet, or below. We've got mountains on all sides. Okay, this is easy to defend.
以外の各機は散開して周囲の警戒に当たれ。
After landing, all units other than 06 will spread out and keep a lookout. I'm sorry, Your Highness. Hold on just a little longer. Keep going.
ハンター2ポジション確保。1901。 2071。
よし。各機指示あるまで全周警戒を維持せよ。
All units maintain lookout positions
反
until
発
further orders.
了解。
Copy.
1901了解。
Copy.
2071了解。
Copy.
白金、殿下のご容体はどうだ？
How's Her Highness's condition? Pretty much the same as before, if
バイタ
anything
ルデータは
worse.
モニターできるか？
Can you show vitals on the monitor? This jacket doesn't record much data, but I'll upload what I got.
嘘。訓練部隊のファーストエイドキットは国連 E 規定に準拠したものか？
Do the cadets' first aid kits comply with UN Regulation E?
アメリカ軍と同じものを使用しております。
Affirmative, they have the same equipment as yours.
白金訓練兵、スコポラミンはもう投与したのか？
Shirogane, have you already administered scopolamine? Yeah, I gave her 3 tablets.
限界量のスコポラミンが効かないか。
So the max dose wasn't enough, huh? For crying out loud, we don't have time for a full diagnosis. None of us surface pilots have specialized medical training anyway. Shouldn't we loosen the belt or lay her down? I don't know, something? Just to start her recovery? Major, I think we should provide some kind of first aid.
処置内容は
What do you suggest? I'd like to loosen her harness and put her in a more relaxed position. It's also vital that she gets fresh
許可
air.
する。応急処置を実行に移せ。
Permission granted. Copy.
軍曹、箱根脱出以降で
Sergeant, following our departure from Hakone, were there any... Your Highness, I'm opening the hatch. There's going to be a movement for a second. Hang in there. I'm sorry I can't do anything more, but hopefully it makes you feel at least a little better. I hear the fighting in Hikawa. I couldn't while the hatch was closed, but it's faintly audible. We got the lead on them now. It shouldn't be physically possible for them to catch up anymore. There aren't any Imperial bases ahead either, so there's no chance of rebels popping up. Letting the fresh out here was a good idea, but it's a little cold. I think there's a space blanket in the survival kit. I'm gonna loosen the belts now. Are you doing okay? Lean back. Be comfortable.
これは侍従長が言っていたのですが、殿下はこの騒乱が始まってから
From what
一睡もされていないそうです。
the Grand Chamberlain told me, she hasn't slept since the coup began. Huh? She hasn't slept?
殿下のお立場や状況から考えれば、精神的な負荷もかなり加わっていると思われま
And
す。
considering the nature of her current situation, it's safe to assume that she's under extreme mental duress as well. Right, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that. Her subjects all started killing each other, and she put up the people of her capital in danger. She's not the type of person who could sleep through something like that. And I'll bet she's been fretting her hair out the entire time, like Marimo
なる
said.
ほど。そんなコンディションで実戦の戦術起動では無理もないな。
Given her prior condition, it's no surprise she was affected so severely by the G forces. She came all the way out here to serve as bait for the rebel forces, but I never heard her breathe complaint. That's an incredible amount of strength. She deserves up to her title. The woman suffered in silence until her bother couldn't take anymore. She really is Maya's
白
sister,
金訓
huh?
練兵、
Sir,
殿下にトリアドラムを投与しろ。
administer one standard issue of triazolam. What?
早くしろ。精神安定剤の投与は重度加速度病に対する通常の処置だ。
Do it now. Administering sedatives is standard procedure when
お
you're
待ち
dealing
く
with
ださい
motion
少佐。
sickness.
殿下の症状と戦況の好転から考えて、さらなる投薬のリスクは不要ではないでしょうか。
Wait, Major. Considering the Highness's current symptoms, it's really necessary to further risk medication? Especially given we have the upper hand?
その通りです、少佐。
I agree, Major. Tsukiomi's been listening in. I'm surprised she didn't talk sooner.
安静が確保できるのであれば問題ありませんが、この後も戦術機での移動が続く以上、トリアドラムの
If we agree to let her rest, there would be no issue. However, because we still have quite a ways to go, the triathlon would be far
注
too...
意。本作戦において君はオブザーバーだ。通信の傍受は許可したが、発言する権利を認めた覚えはないぞ。
First Lieutenant, you are an observer to the operation. You've been cleared to listen in on our transmission, but I do not recall granting you permission to speak. So that's why Tsukiyomi has been so quiet. The Royal Guard's basically here for the ride in the operation. Guess you couldn't resist the urge to speak up or to stay quiet any
効果
longer.
が高いトリアドラムは同時に筋弛緩を引き起こします。睡眠状態での嘔吐により窒息死する可能性を看過するわけにはいきません。
Triazlim is both a high-level hypnotic and a muscle relaxant. There's a very real danger of suffocation if she were to vomit in her sleep. She's so still composed. Given her anti-American sentiment, the Shogun's condition, and the Major's attitude, do you think she'd have lost it? If it were Maya, I guarantee she'd be biting off the Major's head about now.
可能性は否定できない。だが、それはあくまで可能性の話だ。
It certainly is a possibility, but is only that and nothing
殿下の
more.
容体を鑑みれば、一刻も早く戦域を離脱するのが最良の選択だ。
In light of her highness's condition, the best course of action would be to get her off the
我が軍が
battlefield.
敵の追撃を阻止している間に、歩幅飛行で移動すべきだろう。
We will continue flying NOE to the destination while my battalion is still holding
お
off the
眠りいただく
pursuers.
ことで速度を上げ、移動時間を短縮できれば、殿下が戦術機に乗られる時間も 敵に発見されるリスクも少なく済む。
If putting her to sleep allows us to move at a faster pace, it'll both minimize her time Her Highness needs to spend in the TSF and reduce the odds that we were spotted by the enemy. I guess I can understand that rationale. We definitely need to minimize the strain that we've been subjecting the Shogun to, and it'd be nice to bring this pointless battle to a close. But right now, Her Highness is just barely holding it together, while through sheer force of will, putting her to sleep could be very risky. Wouldn't it be better to just take a break instead of sedating?
殿下の体調回復のため10分以上の休息時間を取るべきと愚信いたします。
So triazole might not be the safest option. I propose we should take a break of at least 10 minutes to allow Her Highness to recover.
キットにある精神安定剤はトリアゾラムのみ。これは現状取り得る最良の選択だ。
Triazole was the only sedative in that kit. It's the best option we have under the
加え
circumstance.
て短時間の休息で殿下が回復する保証はない。180秒後に移動を再開する。
Also, there's no guarantee a short break will allow Her Highness to recover. We'll move out in 180 seconds. Are you serious? We haven't even been here for 5 minutes. That's insane. If we start moving again, she could suffer dehydration from... Shirogane, do not argue with your superiors. What the hell? I thought you wanted to let her rest. We have the upper hand. What's wrong? What are you doing? Give her triazolam. I... Do not do it, Shirogane. Major, I insist we take a break.
我々国連軍の任務は反乱軍から将軍を守り無事脱出させることだ。
First Lieutenant, our mission is to protect the Shogun from the insurgents and evacuate her to
そしてもう
safety.
一つ、指揮官である私にはできうる限り君たちを含めた部下の安全を図る義務がある。
Furthermore, as the commanding officer here, I have a duty to not put any of my subordinates in needless danger. That
本
includes
作戦
you.
は日本政府の要請により実施されているものだ。反乱軍側の人間でない限り任務遂行を邪魔するべきではないと考えるが。
The operation is being carried out in response to a direct request from the Japanese government. I can't imagine why you'd obstruct this mission unless you were an insurgent.
富士共同体の例もある。帝国軍のどの部隊が反乱に参加しているかすらわからない状態で、のんびり時間を潰している余裕はない。
There's the president of the Fuji Training Corps to consider, you understand. We can't afford to be biding our time when we don't even know what happened, what Imperial units are secretly on the rebel side. What the hell? Is he really accusing Tsukiyomi of being a co-conspirator? The Major's got a point, but why would you talk to your friendlies like that? For God's sake, could you not make the stupid mess any more complicated?
少佐、皇帝陛下は未だかの者たちを反乱軍とは戦しておりません。
Major, His Majesty the Emperor has not yet declared them insurgents.
まして殿下は皇帝陛下直々に国事全般をお預かりしている身です。
She's gonna dab on him. And in addition, remember that Her Highness has been granted ultimate authority in all domestic affairs by His
殿
Majesty
下
the
の大事
Emperor.
は政府の要請に勝ります。どうか命令の再考を。
As such, her safety takes precedence over the request of our government. I must insist that you reconsider.
くどいぞ注意。君には国連軍の作戦に意見する権限はない。
You don't know what to give up. First Lieutenant, you do not have authority to voice opinions about a UN military
危険
operation.
な副作用がある薬物を他国の首脳に独断で投与する権限が一階の部隊指揮官に与えられているとでもお思いか？
And you believe a mere field officer has the authority to administer a potentially dangerous drug to the head of state of another nation?
命令の再考を
I
ご信
implore
いた
you
します。
to reconsider. Oh god, let's hope the Major's not a prideful person, or else this is gonna backfire.
少佐、本作戦成功の暁には殿下を救出したアメリカに対する日本の国民感情は一気に好転すると思われますが。
Major, provided this operation is a success and we get Her Highness out safely, the national sentiment towards America will shift much more favorably overnight.
殿下に対する薬物過剰投与の情報が漏洩すれば、たとえそれが最善の措置であったとしても、国民の対米感情がさらに悪化することは確実です。
However, if word gets out that she was given excessive medication, even with the best course of action, it will only exacerbate our already strained relationship.
そうした状況はアメリカ政府が負ったリスクと労力に見合わないと考えますが。
Given the risk the American government's already taking here, I doubt they'd want their efforts to go to waste. But Morimo, making it sound like a net loss for the Americans should make it a lot easier for him to change his mind. The way she phrased that does concern me, though. She's making a point not to come out and say it, but it sounds like she knows what's going on behind the scenes. Could Yuko told her? Maybe she figured it out at Yokohama base and then with the US getting involved?
君も確か日本人だったな。
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sergeant, but aren't you also Japanese? I am.
君たちの将軍に対する忠誠、思いの深さには敬意を表する。
I have every respect for your profound loyalty to the Shogun.
君たちがそうであるのと同様に、 私も私の部下たちも祖国であるアメリカに忠誠を誓った軍人だ。
In the same vein, my subordinates and I are soldiers who have sworn an oath of loyalty to our homeland, the United States of America. What's he going on
国
about?
民や国家の安全を守るための命令には従う。そしてこの作戦も任務である以上全力を尽くす。
I'll obey any orders that will protect the sanctity of our people and our state. I will do everything in my power to make this mission a success.
これだけは言わせてもらうぞ。
But I will say
この
this.
人類滅亡の危機に
Oh yeah.
極東防衛の要衝たる自覚もなく、無意味な内戦に突入し、貴重な戦力や時間を浪費している愚かな国家。それ
Even,
が君たちの国、日本だ。
even now, when humanity faces a very real threat of extinction, your country fails to appreciate how vital it is to the defense of the Far East, choosing instead to waste precious time and resources on a very pointless internal conflict.
その幼稚でくだらない国のために、私の部下が命を落とすことは絶対に我慢ならん。
The notion of my subordinates laying down their lives for a nation that resorts to childish infighting makes me sick.
そして今、ここから数マイル後方で、そのクソ忌々しい事態が現実となっているんだ。
And yet, that's exactly what's happening just a few miles away.
周囲の提案する10分の休息時間の間に、敵味方何人の命が失
How
わ
many
れる
people are gonna die in this 10-minute break of yours?
それは本来、人類の宿敵ベータと戦うべき命なのだぞ。
Those lives should be spent fighting the Beta, humanity's true adversary. He's right. God dang it, he's right. He's saying the exact same thing I've been thinking. This can't be the time for people to fight amongst themselves, and yet at the same time, a part of me feels like there's a little bit more than that. What the hell? Why am I suddenly conflicted?
調査のご指摘はもっとも
What you say is true, Major.
帰国との戦争に敗れた後、我が国は誇りを失い、政治は疲弊し、
After your country defeated ours in the war, we lost all national pride, our government fell to
情けなくも
ruin.
今や他国の干渉に翻弄されるありさま。
While it pains me to say it, we remain at the mercy of foreign interlopers to this day. Interlopers, sorry. So does Lieutenant Tsukumi know what's going on behind the
されど、
scenes?
機関の将兵の命を危険にさらしているのは私どもでもまして殿下でもありません。極東での復権を欲するアメリカ
However,
政府です。
it is neither we nor Her Highness who has exposed your soldiers to danger. It's your own government and their desire for renewed influence in the Far East.
なれば先の物言い、まさに陰口がごとき泣き言に過ぎぬ。
I would suggest
私ども相手に漏らすのは筋違いも甚だしい。
I would suggest directing these tiresome complaints to your own leaders, should you have the courage to do so. You sorely misplace your criticism by leveling it at us.
その程度の覚悟と忠誠ならば遠慮は無用。またあの時のように安全な北米大陸へ帰られよ。
And if your loyalty is that so easily shaken, then pay us no mind. Scurry back to the safety net of North
言
America.
葉が過ぎます。つくよみ注意。本作戦での立場をお忘れですか。
That's enough, Lieutenant. Have you forgotten your place?
先ほど上官の議論に口を挟むなと訓練兵をたしなめていたな。部下への範は己が態度で示すがいい。
Didn't you rebuke one of your cadets for interrupting their superior only a minute ago? Practice what you preach.
注意。今般の作戦を主管する国連軍の名において警告します。機関の発言は挑発的意図が散見され、今後の任務遂行の障害となる恐れがあります。
Lieutenant, in the name of the UN military overseeing the operation, I must warn you. What you're saying is highly provocative, and I fear it may hinder our ability to complete the mission. Huh?
なるほ
Marimo?
ど。任務の障害となる我々近衛部隊を国連が反乱軍と認定し排除する。
I see, in the moment any Royal Guard unit is perceived as obstructing the mission, the UN will label it as insurgents and have us eliminated, right? For God's sake, what the hell's wrong with you? Now even Marimo's mad. Weren't you guys the ones who didn't want to waste any...
警告と申し上げました。以後ご自重ください。
I've given you a warning, control
できる
yourself.
としたらいかに。
And if I can't?
やめたまえ。時間稼ぎはもう十分だろう。
That's enough, Lieutenant. Haven't you bought this a long time already?
見事に寄せられてしまったものだ。
What's the jet engine going off in the back? Unbelievable. You had me going there for a while, but then again, it wasn't entirely an
少
act.
佐のおっしゃる意味がわかります。
I don't catch your meaning, Major.
まあいい。ところで軍曹、君は知っていて乗った口かね。
Have it your way. Sergeant, were you in on this as well? What's that sound? Thank you. Finally, someone realized that... She's alive! Administer the medicine. How does she know about that? What the switch? When did she... I'll be just fine. How much of that did she hear? The medicine. Your Highness, there's no time to waste. We mustn't let any more lives be in vain. What was that? Friendly aircraft, thank you. The mountains on both sides have created a blind spot in the radar. I love the sound of jet engines. I've heard it live like two or three times, and it's like absolutely insane. The IJF 671, 671st Air Transport Unit. No one said they'd be 671st. Sergeant, report. Major, they're stationed at Atsuki Base. What? Isn't that the ones that we left because they all got overrun? We might be dealing with... An airborne assault? An airborne assault? But wouldn't the safest flight path from Asugi take them right over the UN and US navies? We've been thoroughly outmaneuvered. They knew we'd never consider using aircraft in conjunction with TSS, especially in dangerous airspace. You're kidding me. These transports risk flying over land knowing full well Beta could have just shot them down. Nothing that big could fly NOE. They could have been blown to smithereens. To the commander of the UN. Someone's transmitting on all channels from the troops surrounding us? This is like Irinoya of the Imperial Mainland Defense Force 1st Tactical Armored Regiment. Huh? Sagiri, could you... Cease all combat operation immediately. We do not wish to engage you. Say again, cease all combat immediately. That's the orchestrator of the coup. I say again, cease all combat immediately. No way. Wow, they kind of got smoked. Though we know our cause to be just, and know it does place us in direct opposition to you, we do not wish to engage you in combat. We've only come to take back Her Highness, whom you were unlawfully attempting to abscond with. This may be somewhat unilateral, but I propose a 60-minute ceasefire effective immediately. We offer the ceasefire in the name of Her Highness. You have my word it will not be broken. During this time, we hope that you will reconsider the property of your deeds as they relate to our national sovereignty, and then decide for yourself what the most rational and ethical course of action would be. I will call you again on other channels in 60 minutes. If you do not answer, we intend to use all means at disposal to control the situation. Consider this your warning. Out. The leader of an insurgency would appear on front lines just to declare a 60-minute ceasefire. This is a trap. It defies logic. Maybe they're trying to buy time for our enemy units that took control of Haikawa to reform our rear. But during that time, our own forces will be closing in on them from behind and risk the Shimoda area. Wouldn't it be worth it? It's also possible that they only suggested a ceasefire because there is no risk. What do you mean? All active wireless communications have been disabled and we're reliant on wired connections simply to share information about our TSFs. We can only speculate the situation behind us. Are you suggesting that our reinforcements from Tokyo have been completely wiped out? That the US and the old Shimoda wouldn't even moved out even though our marketers have vanished? Potentially. What baseless conjecture?
将軍のダッシュだ。戦術機ではなく歩兵部隊で奇襲をかけるつもりだろう。
Chances are they called a ceasefire in order to kidnap the Shogun. They're likely planning to ambush us with infantry units rather than
行軍距離と
TSFs.
将軍上記を特定する時間を考えれば60分という時間はうなずける。
Considering they would need to approach on foot and identify the TSF that contains the Shogun beforehand, 60 minutes seems
お
appropriate.
言葉ですが少佐、60分間の休戦は絶対に履行されます。
Not to be rude, Major, but I have every confidence that they will uphold the 60-minute
その
ceasefire.
根拠は
How can you be
帝
sure?
国軍人が将軍の名において発した言葉を翻すことは
They swore it on the
おそら
Shogun's
くあり
name.
えません。
It's unthinkable to think that an Imperial soldier would actually break that
君
vow.
も同意見か注意。
And Lieutenant, do you agree?
は、殿下の置かれた状況、国の現状を憂えて立った者たちです。神宮寺軍曹の言う通りだと考えます。
I do, sir. These rebels have risen up specifically out of concern for Her Highness's plight and the safety of our nation. I believe Sergeant Jiguji is absolutely right.
自らが寄って立つ者を恥ずかしめることは絶対にありません。
They thoroughly believe themselves to be acting in her best interest, so therefore they will not disgrace her name.
なぜ君たちがそこまで敵を信用できるのかわからんが。
It's amazing to me you two have faith in an
どち
enemy.
らにせよ時間が稼げること自体はこちらにとっても好都合だ。
But either way, their stalling for time does work to our
休
advantage.
戦に応じる。下記は現ポジションを維持。殿下には戦術機から降りてお休みいただこう。
We will uphold the ceasefire. All units maintain your current positions. We'll have Her Highness disembark from 06 TSF and get some
ル
rest.
ソー、
は、
念のため歩兵の襲撃に備える。207小隊は殿下の警護に当たれ。
Prepare yourselves for an infantry ambush just in case. The 207th flight will guard Her Highness.
訓練兵を殿下の直営に当てるのですか？
You want the cadets to be the ones defending Her
軍
Highness?
曹、少佐は今のうちに訓練兵を休ませておけとおっしゃっておられるのだ。
Sergeant, the Major is suggesting that we let the cadets rest while they can.
少佐、我が部隊の兵士も戦術機から下ろし、周囲の警戒に当たらせます。
Major, my unit will also disembark from our TSFs and patrol the
よか
area.
ろう。この絵である君の任務を果たせ。
Very well. Carry out your duties as members of the Royal Guard. Yes, sir.
少佐、お心遣い感謝いたします。
Major, I thank you for your
状況は
consideration.
もっと厳しくなる。頼んだぞ。
It only stays tougher out there. Stay vigilant. Yes, sir. It's been about 30 minutes since the rebel transmission. None of these units have even moved a muscle. Assuming the markers that are intentionally transmitting to us aren't fake, if they do match with what we saw in terms of number and position, are the rebels trying to prove that they aren't looking to a fight to show that they have nothing to hide? They proclaimed a ceasefire in the Shogun's name, and so far they haven't gone back on the word. Under the circumstances, any Japanese person in this world would believe them without question. There is even a part of ME that's tempted to believe it. Me, ME. I am tired, as logical as that is. The 2 years I spent in the previous timeline taught me just how important the Shogun is to this world's Japan. So I'm pretty sure I would have been able to understand what drove the rebels to do this, even if Meiya wasn't around to explain it to me. For the Japanese people of the world, Japan doesn't exist without the Shogun. That's why the rebel commander is ignoring modern combat procedure and coming to the front lines himself. People who rebel for the sake of their country and their shogun wouldn't break a ceasefire proclaimed in Her Highness' name, and that much I can believe. But the only way for Captain Sagiri and his followers to prove the rebellion was just for the shogun to personally condone their actions, and that's why they need to take her. But why called the ceasefire? We've taken them at their word, which means that we're pretty much sitting ducks. On top of that, we've disabled our active sensors, wireless transmissions, and satellite data links so that they can't be traced into our position. We're basically blind. If their plan was to use Her Highness's name to trick us into letting our guard down, they've succeeded. If they wanted to swoop out right now and take us out, it would be the perfect time. It's not that hard to believe that the rebels would have deceived us to achieve that design. I feel like that's why Major Walken's got us out patrolling. He can't discount the possibility. But so far, it looks like they're just going to keep on waiting it out, even after they make a suicidally dangerous flight down here to catch up with us. What the hell? If they uphold the ceasefire, then they'd only be doing it for the honor or pride of something. That's not strategic. What would Captain Sagiri do for this benefit? Not that I don't understand the importance of honor, but what is that matters most? The captain's putting his life on the line to pull this off, even prioritizing above the interests of mankind as a whole. Shouldn't he be taking things more seriously? Just the wind. Don't scare me, wind. I'm not like them. I'm different. I'm built different. My objective is to prevent the fall of humankind. If I were in his shoes, I'd be prioritizing their end goal above all else. That's my responsibility, and I've seen it because I've witnessed the end of days. If the Japanese citizens of this world can't see through the bigger picture, then that just means I'll have to do it for them. Yeah, that's what he said earlier. Like Yuko Sensei and Tsukiyomi said, it's quite clear that America has some ulterior motives, but at the same time the Major does have a good point. And he has every right to say it. He's a surface pilot on the front lines, not some high-ranking politician. There's not a single person in this world who wants to get killed in a fight like this, and I have no doubt about that. From the Major's point of view, this incident must be frustrating on a lot of levels. He's been dragged into the middle of a rebellion instigated by indignant activists in a country that's on the front line war against Beta, and now he's surrounded by the same people his own life's in danger. His battalion saved us, and we've been telling him the mission takes a backseat to ensuring the Shogun's safety. And now we're taking the enemy in their word without second thought. When you look at it like that, I don't blame him for thinking the Japanese people are irrational or even a childish nation. I felt the same way about Japanese people in the past. I've been pretty vocal about it. When the Major called this conflict childish, it sounds like something I would say. That's probably because we're both outsiders here. The Major's an American, and I'm not from this Japan. But at the same time, it's not like I could condone America for acting on their own interests while condemning Japan for doing the same. I just don't have the same sense of Japanese patriotism that everyone else seems to have, and I don't know the historical context behind that either. But none of that even matters right now. For me, this isn't about political gain, or who was wrong and who was right, whatever. All I want is to keep humanity from falling victim to the same fate twice. That's why when Yuko brought us to Mount Tengen, I had to choose between the fate of humanity and the old woman's wishes. The choice may have been made for me. Not that I'd forget things that Maya taught me back then. If anything, I made the choice in order to save not just that old woman, but everyone else as well. I want to save as many lives as I can, and it's my responsibility to see Alternative 4 through its completion as soon as possible. So why? Why am I feeling so complicated all of a sudden? Complicated. I am. Whew! Why am I feeling so conflicted all of a sudden, even though I know the Major's objectively right? Why couldn't I do this to the Shogun what I did to the old woman? Especially after how frustrated I've been about wasting all this precious time on human infighting. I know the fastest way to get this thing over with was to bring the Shogun back to Yokohama base as soon as possible, but I couldn't obey the Major's order. I couldn't even bring myself to sedate her. I don't feel the same sense of devotion for the Shogun that these people have, so why couldn't I do it? Because she's Maya's twin? Because I would have put her in danger? Because it was life-threatening? When I saw the Shogun like that, suffering like that, I couldn't make the same decision. Then I indirectly made for the old woman. At the same time, I didn't even realize that it went completely against my usual stance on things like this. I panicked, I hesitated, I was freaking out, and I had no idea what to do. Meanwhile, Her Highness, a girl my own age, was begging to give me the meds even though she knew they could kill her, all for the sake of America, the UN, and the rebel TSF pilots. I should have known what to do, but when it happened, my mind went blank. I was afraid to do it with my own two hands. Because I have no combat experience, maybe? No, that can't be it. The world's been fighting against Beta for ages. I doubt that Tsukiyomi or Marimo or even the Major or any other experience fighting people. How many veterans from those kinds of wars are even still alive? So what is it? Is there something other than combat experience that I'm missing here? Is there something bigger I lack? If so, what the hell?
確かに事務次官の言葉に嘘はないと思いますわ。あの方なりに人類全体のことを思い、
たとえそれが将軍家ゆかりのものだろうが、首相の娘であろうが、実の娘であったとしても、その犠牲を最大限に生かす方法とタイミングは十分心得ているつもりだよ。
Conviction and patriotism. That's what I'm missing. That's what it comes down to. There's no way. I've got plenty of conviction. I mean, I wasn't born and raised here, but I'm determined to save humanity at any and all costs. Is that not good enough? Okay, I'm from another world, but that shouldn't stop me from making tough calls when I need to. Have all the tragedies I've experienced only made me a weaker person?
人類を救うっていうあんたの決意。
Yuko saw right through me. It's because I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. How am I supposed to give someone the benefit of the doubt on a basis of a moral code I don't understand? They're positive that Captain Sagri won't ambush us because it goes everything against they hold sacred. And here I am shaking because I lack the same conviction as he does. It's like how a blind man can never imagine what the color red looks like. I can't imagine that kind of conviction because I've never had it. I want to be stronger than this. There's too many things happening all at once and I don't know what to do. I'm nervous about my first battle too, but thanks to all the psychological training, I'm not terribly afraid of dying. Thank goodness, I guess. But if I had a real pillar of strength to fall back on, would I feel more conflicted about any of this? Maybe if I had more conviction, if I were more steadfast in my beliefs. It doesn't matter. I still have to see Alternative 4 through its completion no matter the cost. There's no much time left. I at least managed to figure out what's been bugging me all this time. This has to be the step into the right direction. I don't know whether I can learn from have stronger convictions, but right now all I can do is try. Now's not the time to get lost in thought. If we can't get past the enemy's blockade, this won't matter. I need to focus on getting everyone else safe, and this isn't just about me anymore. Everyone has some kind of baggage that connects them to this situation, as UN surface pilots, as Japanese citizens, not to mention some of the family members of these people involved. During the briefing we just had, I was so preoccupied with the enemy's encirclement and my own inner conflict, I didn't even look around to see how the others were doing. They've got to be stressed about facing their first battle. All the more so since we were surrounded by the enemy when it seemed like we just made a clean getaway. Maya also feeling conflicted because of her feelings for Her Highness and sympathy towards the rebel cause. Tama's torn between her Japanese roots and her father's position in the UN. Same goes for Makoto. I don't even know what she knows what her dad's up to. Sagiri has at least shown his face on the battlefield, and I don't even want to imagine what Class Rep and Ayamine are going through right now. And yet everyone's giving it their all. Maybe I should see if anyone needs someone to vent to. Though I'll probably just do the venting. Let's see what's up with Maya. Where'd Maya go? I don't even see her anywhere. I'm pretty sure this is where she was assigned to do briefing. We all disabled our ID markers so she can't trace our location. If she's on the move, it's not going to be easy to find her. I hope she's not actually patrolling. They wanted to go get some rest so I wouldn't slow the whole group down later. I figured she'd be beside herself to worry for Her Highness. But I guess she's focused on carrying out her orders. What classic Maya. She could never neglect her patrol duties when Her Highness' safety is at stake. Even if that duty was an excuse to get rest. Though in her case, she'd probably rather stay busy. Alright. Okay, I guess that's red. I'm going to go ahead and just save it here. I am like dead tired. I'm slurring my speech. I'm messing up on my words. I think the debate took a lot out of me today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and try and fine tune this thing. I should be at 87, should be my heart rate right now, according to my monitor. So hopefully it's somewhere near 87. I guess I can go ahead and check now. According to monitor 1, my highest heart rate was at 91, and that happened during the cool music and the other, like the cool music and like the major talking about the battle plan. I have no idea what it was for this one, but yeah, there seems to be just a little bit of a difference, and hopefully I can go ahead and just get that kind of sorted out. I'm going to go ahead and send an email and see if there's anything I could do, because it's jumping and like falling like rap so fast that it's just you know, it's probably not as accurate. So I'm going to go ahead and just email them and see what's going on, see if I can make it even better for tomorrow. I'm glad that nothing too crazy happened today, just so that, you know, the heart rate monitor should be at its most accurate tomorrow and on, after I go ahead and sort out whatever technical difficulties I'm having. As for those of you guys that watched, even though kind of a nothing burger today, did you guys like the heart monitor idea? Because if you guys did, it's something that I'll probably incorporate for all my other streams as well, even if I do like fighting super bosses or something like that. Alright, well, looks like it's unanimous then. Cool. I'll go ahead and I'll send them an email right after this, and I'm going to go ahead and get some sleep. I am just like I am way too exhausted. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have liked this rather unique experience. I can't say that I've ever seen somebody use a heart monitor for a visual novel before, so maybe I'm the first of its kind. I think I'm probably the first of their kind to be a politician with a Wojak talker as their profile picture on Instagram, though. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a nice night. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully I can go ahead and fix some of the issues here with the heart rate monitor. Oh, wait, it synced! It synced for a second. It was 84 on both. Alright. Thanks again, guys. See you tomorrow.